Hi, this is Ying. Nice to see you here. And today we will cover IRS audit. There is basically three types of audit the IRS would do. And number one is correspondence audit. Number two is office visit audit. And then taxpayer visit audit, which is I also call that field audit. So most of the audit is done by correspondence. You got a letter. The letter says that, hey, and you have things we'd like to review, supply to us 1, 2, 3, 4. So you send to the IRS, they review it. Either you get elevated to a local office that close to you, so you have to go to get more audit done with them, or you are getting a letter saying you're good and whether you paid or not, and it's closed. So that's correspondence audit. Is less invasive. It is pretty much procedure to follow, and we see a lot of that. Then the other audit is what we call the office audit. Is the compliance officers at IRS would call you into the office and want to see you, wants to question you. And in COVID-19 time, it is more of a video conference or a phone call, so it will be conducted that way, and you don't go to the office, but they like to meet you. So those are the office visit kind of audit. Then the third kind, it is what we called the field audit. The IRS literally coming over to you, to your business. If you hire a CPA firm to represent you, the IRS would go to the CPA firm, but the IRS agent would not stay in the office to audit you. They come to you. And in this particular session, what I want to explain to you is that what would be your first thing to do when you know that you are being audited by IRS? And I want to say to you, based on my experience, and the IRS agency in general is very fair. And the agency had tools to help taxpayer to be treated fairly. So if the field audit, the auditors you deal with is not right, you don't agree with the finding, you can go to appeal. And appeal is not right, you don't agree with the finding, you can go to tax court. So there is a level above level of things that you can do to finally get into fairness. And I'm in this field for so many 10 years, and I couldn't give you example of IRS is not being fair. So I always say that in the end you will get the fairness. But I also have to say that not every government auditor and out there is fair. Not every one of them. People, as a human beings, a lot of times we come with perceived notions, right? If I have a bad experience with certain kind of taxpayers, if I'm auditor and I audit a couple of say Latinos taxes, and they're all just like very badly done, then I may come across another Latino case. Maybe I will be like have this preconceived notions, not right, should not, but we're human beings, right? So it is really, really important for you to know that not every auditor gonna come out to be right. And they may not agree with what you're spending. They just want to charge you for everything. And even if you presented some document they don't think is legit. And a famous story I have is that I have a taxpayer who come to me because he was audited so badly and all of his business expense was disallowed. And so I look at his file. I didn't quite understand why they were all disallowed. So I asked him, why are you being disallowed? And shouldn't some of these be deductible? He goes, I don't know. And I don't think the auditor is fair. This is IRS audit. So I went into the detailed documentation. I called IRS to figure out why they disallowed. So they told me that this taxpayer is deceiving, dishonest, cheating on the deduction because he was using receipt doesn't even belong to him. Okay, so I went back to the taxpayer and say, hey, why are you using receipt doesn't belong to you? He goes, what do you mean, Ying? And I said, I don't know. That's what IRS auditor had approved, that you were using fraudulent receipts. So then he pulled out all his receipt, and I was looking at the receipt thinking, there's nothing wrong with the receipt. But I did notice that on the receipt, whenever paid to him, and he goes by an English name, let's just say he goes by John, but the receipt was actually have some different spellings of a different characters. So he's Vietnamese, so it's kind of is something really Vietnamese. Okay, so I said, who are these people on the receipt? Because that's not you, right? Your name is John. He goes, oh no, Ying, I just become a citizen last year, so I changed my name to John, but this is me. And I said, well, that's the problem, because the auditors look at this name and thinking your name is John legally, and so you're just bringing somebody else's receipt trying to fool the auditors. So obviously, situation like that, you can see the cultural barriers in there. You can see the preconceived notions got played on the IRS auditor side, but it's all understandable. It's a humanly possible mistake. So with that, what I want to say to you is, when you work on the audit, you really need to have someone professional, someone who understands your culture, understand you, understand your business, and to know how to explain and lay things out for the auditors. The more document organization we have for the government agency worker and the employees, the better they would be in the position to understand you, to move things faster. So having said that, I also want to bring another point, and I am about to tell you that if you are a Quickbook user, I am sorry, when you get audited, it is not going to be a simple audit. And what happened is IRS has a license to run Quickbook. So when you use Quickbook for your business, IRS want to audit you for 2014, and you are going to provide IRS your whole book. That includes whenever you start the business to whenever you are still running. So your whole book is in front of IRS, and this is the language from IRS when they want your Quickbook data. They're saying, I'm just reading the notice out here because this is literally a notice that the taxpayer received, and you will see it on the screen. So the Quickbook, the IRS want you to give. IRS want you to give a Quickbook administrator's username and password for the backup file requested above, which is, let's say, is 2014 tax return. But Quickbook cannot separate years. Quickbook is one piece of pie. You can't cut a slice out. Okay? So you're giving the whole thing to the IRS. And IRS also said, please note that you may temporarily change the administrator password before copying the electronic backup file for IRS in response to this IDR, information documentation request. Then you may change the password back to the original standard ones within your main Quickbook working file. Why do they need backup file? They actually can see all the adjustment you are making in the Quickbook. They also can see every years in your Quickbook, not just the audited years, every year. With that, I'll say that yes, it is very invasive. It is very large. If you happen to meet with the auditors who already don't trust what you're doing, thinking you might be dealing with drugs, or why are you making so much money? Why are you having so much cash going around? You're asking for trouble yourself. So there you go. Your whole book is given to IRS. So I say that if you are getting audited, and don't try to answer that call yourself, and really come to people like Community CPA, and we have the experience and we know what needs to be done, and we work with very very good agencies and good IRS employees, and they know how we work, and we know how hard they work, and we respect each other, and we know how to get work done. But if you deal with 1-800 number, I'm sorry, they don't have relationship with IRS. They don't know that auditor. They don't meet the auditor, and they are just going to take your money and tell you this is the best they do. But their best is not acceptable to you. So the information I give you here is just to make you be aware, audit, knowing that at the end of the day, the government is fair. If you got unfair treatment, a lot of time it's because your backup copies and your information provided to the government is just not there. Those auditors cannot make a good decision for you, cannot place judgment properly on you, and we have seen clients like that, and it's just very messy, and maybe you ended up overpaying taxes, but that's really the result of you are not having good accounting, good tax system. So really tie your business. If you want to be successful in your business, you want to be able to go to sleep without worried about IRS, and it is time to sign up with firm like Community CPA. I'm pretty sure there's many other firms you can go to, and because I live, breathe the air in Community CPA, so I'll tell you that we are very good CPA firms, and we understand your culture, we speak your language, and we are the one that will safeguard your interest and work with the IRS to find the best solution for you. So hopefully, and you understand a little bit more about audit, and you also had more confidence in us and have us represent you. Thank you.